So we'll do a Google trending search. So basically what's trending on Google right now. Number one is Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly are engaged, which...
Who cares?
That's just one of those, it seems like every 5 to 10 years you have like a what in the world type of relationship is going on, you know what I mean? And this is just our 5 or 10 year relationship that's happening. But I really like Megan Fox, man. So I hope she pulls out of this weirdness. And I don't know nothing about Machine Gun Kelly. I listened to her, like a little documentary on how she grew up before. And she grew up like very religiously Pentecostal. Like,
that would explain her behavior.
What I mean? Very, very charismatic and stuff like that. And then I had no idea, based off of what I knew about her when she hit the radar for me, it was Transformers.
Yeah.
But I was like, I don't know, for whatever reason, I thought, she's a good one, whatever. And then this lately, she's having, what it reminds me? It reminds me exactly of Billy Bob Thornton and Angelina Jolie 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
That's probably 20 years ago.
20 years ago. Yeah, so I'm saying this is just
probably
that,
like the 90s.
But 20 years later, when they would like carry little vials of blood, of each other's blood around.
Yeah, real creepy.
I don't know, I mean, if one of them got injured, very helpful. Because you could get it typed real quick, Here's their blood type.
I mean, doesn't blood go bad if it's not refrigerated?
I have no idea.
You can't just carry it in a vial?
I have no idea.
Maybe they filled it up daily.
I think generally health conscious people shouldn't carry their blood around in a vial. Number 2 is asteroids and Earth. We go over to USA Today. A potentially hazardous asteroid bigger than any building in the world to soon fly past Earth. This is space.com, a 3,400 foot wide asteroid will make a safe flyby of Earth next week. This is IGN, a half-mile wide asteroid will soon pass Earth. News Nation Now, potentially dangerous skyscraper-sized asteroid nearing Earth. CNN, a kilometer-wide asteroid will make its closest pass by Earth next week. I'm surprised that they didn't add like a little, off to the side little asterisk, and it's Trump's fault.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I had a feeling you were going to say that. Yeah.
I'm surprised. A potentially hazardous asteroid more than twice the size of the Empire State Building will make a close flyby. That's CBS. So,
is it the same one they just sent?
Yeah, this is the one that everyone's been talking about.
Apophis?
Right? No, Apophis isn't coming in until 2029.
Oh.
And Apophis is I can't remember the size of Apophis, to be honest with you, but it's a little smaller.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Apophis is a little smaller. Anyway, so the amount of times that an asteroid or a meteorite has made a close flyby in Meteoroid is what it's called when it's still flying.
No, meteor.
Meteor, and then meteorites when it's falling to Earth?
No, meteor, meteoroid, meteorite.
Meteorite.
I call it right. Okay. Meteorite.
Anyway, so this isn't uncommon, but this is pretty large, and you're gonna be able to see it with the unaided eye. So that's neat. I think that's cool. I'm into that stuff.
Yeah.
But only as far as it's not gonna hit us.
Yeah.
For a reference point, the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs was 6 miles wide.
Wow, can you imagine that? That's insane.
And completely ended the reptilian dominance on Earth. So this one's half a mile wide.
That we know of.
The
size, I mean, it's believed, right, that the dinosaurs could be what we have now, or lizards.
Oh, yeah, okay, well... I mean, like crocodiles and stuff.
Yeah.
Still here.
Yeah.
Or alligators, whichever one. I don't know the exact, I'm not a zoologist, so I don't know. But one of them was there, during that time and is still with us. So, I mean, they just don't dominate, yeah. They just don't dominate the planet anymore like they obviously used to. Mammals do. And now, for the time being, we're at the top of the food chain. But, in any case, so half-mile wide asteroid impacting Earth, of course, they always gauge it in terms of megatons of dynamite, but would be just disastrous, regardless of where it hits. Because if it hits water, it's still hitting land. You just hit a little bit. It's like a little puddle. It's like if you throw a rock and hit the ground versus you throw a rock and you hit a little puddle and then it hits the ground. It doesn't matter to that thing that's traveling so many thousands of miles per second or whatever. So in any case, it would be very dangerous. I'm not going to go into the science because I'm sure they have that all over the place that you could just do a quick YouTube tutorial on, but it would change the face of the planet and the world forever if it hit us. So there's a lot of different dynamics that are involved when an asteroid or a meteorite hits the Earth and its destructiveness. Of course, if it comes in too steep or too shallow, it'll bounce off the atmosphere, or it will have too direct a path and it will break apart before it hits the ground or whatever. So anyway, it's funny that's what's, or not funny, but it's interesting that's trending all over Google right now. It's just something like you see it in the movies, and not that we haven't been struck by asteroids or meteorites before and things of that nature, but every time you see it's a little surreal every time you see that in the news, in my opinion.
Hold on, I forgot to turn this back on. Oops. Okay.
I mean, close flyby of space rock,
Mm-hmm.
Flying by our big space rock that we live on. It's kind of interesting to think about. I just always think it's a little surreal when you read about that in the news. That has happened or is going to happen, but especially if something's large enough that it could change the course of history forever if it actually hit us and it's coming close enough to where you could see it with just your eyes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's cool. And I don't know why, but I've been having dreams the past couple of weeks of seeing one fly through the...
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I imagine that's because, I've just been keeping an eye on it. But
oh, you have?
On the news.
Oh, that's probably why then, so. Yeah. I was like, whoa.
That's cool, because it looked... I don't know. And it even looked like something I've seen out of a movie. So that's what my mind grabbed hold of as it might look like, But anyway. It's stuff's pretty exciting. When I was camping 6 months ago or something like that, when I took Bradley, and we were in my little trailer, and it was just covered by a tarp. I woke up in the middle of the night, is about 3 or whatever, and I just moved the tarp over just a little bit just so I could look at the sky. And it was just, that moment where you're used to seeing the sky around a city, and it's neat, but then you see the sky when you're in the mountains, and it's just brilliant. And so I looked at that, I was like, wow, that's really neat. And then right in that moment, a very, very, a relatively large, I guess, but very bright meteoroid flew right overhead and just ignited right. It was really neat. That was cool. I'm 1 in a billion shot that I was going to be awake and looking at that spot at that particular time, and it happened. And so I don't know, that stuff's very fascinating to me. So it'd be a cool thing for the world to see this thing fly by. We can all look at it.
Mm-hmm.
At least the northern hemisphere, I guess, not the southern hemisphere, or however that works.
You'd think I would know, but I don't.
No comments? All right. Well,
I don't know what to say.
Got you.
Because I don't know how this wouldn't end up into a long conversation about Apophis.
It doesn't have to. But they've downgraded the danger of Apophis. They now think that as they've taken as they've observed it longer, they believe that it doesn't even have a chance, regardless of what it flies by in 2029. It doesn't have a chance of coming back around to hit us in 2036. So they've downgraded the...
So they downgraded it to the planet will end.
No.
Humans will end in 2029.
No, it won't hit us in 2029.
Or 2022,
definitely
26.
will not hit us in 2036.
36.
Because before they were saying if it hits a certain area in the sky, in space, when it comes by us in 2029, the gravitation of all the bodies, sun, moon, earth, all that sort of stuff, is going to throw it on a trajectory. So when it comes back around in 2036, it might hit us. Mm-hmm. And now that possibility apparently doesn't even exist according to their calculations.
I feel like that's a lie. How would they have had the calculations before and go to the point to announcing this? And they're like, it's going to hit us this time, and if it doesn't, it's coming back at this time. And now they're just like, It turns out we were completely wrong on our math, and it's not even going to come close to us.
No, it's still going to come close.
We went from a 2-shot to it's not even going to come.
In my understanding, it was never a 2-shot. It was never going to hit us in 2029.
I thought it was
a
2-shot.
It was never going to hit us in 2029. But if it passed by us at a certain distance in 2029, then everything would line up for it to hit us in 2036. But if it didn't pass us in 2029 at a certain distance, if it was too far or too close or whatever, then it would not hit us in 2036. Period. So it was always a one-shot thing, but now they're saying, based on upgraded calculations or whatever, it's just not going to hit us. There's no chance. That's the last I read on it.
Maybe they're saying that so people don't act crazy before everything ends.
That'd be something, though. Well, I mean, you always got to wonder. I mean, we have the DART mission up there right now, right? Where they're running a satellite into an asteroid to see if they can deflect its trajectory at all. Change its trajectory at all. And I mean, one could look at that and say, oh, how interesting. The timing on that is just, too whatever to be coincidental. And I don't know. I don't know, man. Conspiracy theories are tiring. They really tire the brain out, so I don't know. But all I know is you should each have an extra box of MREs ready, just in case.
We're on a walk at the volcanoes. There's some volcanoes out here. What are they called? The sister volcanoes?
Yeah, Three Sisters.
In Albuquerque. And this guy was just on a rant.
I didn't know what was wrong with me.
He was... How would you
beside
describe something?
myself.
Just like going on and on. We're gonna, like he was running through like all emotions, and then all of a sudden, he's like, "We're gonna get you a new cell phone by the end of the day. I don't care if it's $1,000." I was like, "That's a lot." We don't have a lot of money, so like that's a lot of money for us. And he's like, "I don't care. We're gonna get it." And I was just, people are walking by us like we were nuts.
I mean, I wasn't like ripping my shirt off and throwing stuff.
You might as well have been.
I was just speaking directly,
and you're just like, this is just overwhelming. It was a lot. And then you were like,
what's wrong with me?
Yeah, and then you're like, I didn't eat breakfast. Yeah. And so he sat down.
And ate an
MRE. Yanked out an MRE and just sat there like crisscross applesauce. Eating his food like some kid all quiet, and I just stood there like, whoa, what's happening? And then all of a sudden he was like, I didn't realize I hadn't ate. I was acting pretty what did you describe yourself? You're like, I was acting kind of crazy.
Yeah, got a little crazy there for a second.
We don't need to be going and getting a cell phone and spending that kind of money. So that's what happens to hangry over here.
I don't know. It hit me, and it wasn't until I was like, "We're buying $1,000 cell phone," that I was like, "Something's wrong with me right now. What's wrong with me?"
You're like, all I had was coffee this morning, and I didn't eat.
I'm hungry, and it's funny. Growing up, I was never like that. Eat or not eat, it would not affect me one bit. But in my old age,
it sucks getting old, people.
Damn, it sucks.
I know we're not
now if
old.
I don't eat, I start buying expensive shit. It's weird.
Maybe that explains some of your behavior.
I guess so. I need to keep myself fed.
It sucks getting old, people. So enjoy your 20s
while
honest, you can, because your body starts like...
I like my 30s much more than I like my 20s. And
But I'm just saying, like, body... like
your body does start to... I'm just saying, yeah.
So even, like, working out. I used to work out a lot. Now I barely work out a couple times a week. But even with working out, your body still sadly like starts deteriorating. Yeah. Like I can't even kneel down long, and my knees just start hurting. And my son's like looking at me. My son starts looking at me, and I'm just like, "Ow, Bradley, I can't get up." And I'm just giving the younger kids a warning to enjoy their bodies.
And then when you go to stand up or sit down, you go, "Oh."
Funny story is our son. He goes to his therapy, speech therapy, and he's always like, ugh, like moving stuff. Yeah. And I asked his therapist, I said, do all kids do that? And because this was why. She's like, oh, okay, you little old man. And I was like, well, do all kids make those sounds? And she's like, no. And I go, oh, I guess that's because he has 2 older parents. And we're always like, ugh. So he sounds like 38. A little old man.
You know, we're only 38.
I'm 39.
39, 38. It's just, I don't know. Maybe we let go too soon, you know? Maybe we need to try to make a comeback, you know?
I didn't let go. Like, this is just a natural progression.
Romeo and Michelle's high school reunion. We'll just try to do it up like high school style, you know?
Nothing.
Just get it done.
I'm okay with leaving that behind.
I don't think I have the fancy dance moves I once did. That doesn't feel like I do.
I don't know what this turned out to be, but it turned out to be like a rant about being old. And
also to old age.
But
well, if there's an asteroid coming, then you young kids need to, live a little life. Safe, like make good choices and all that, but
like tomorrow will exist.
Well,
because then you're going to make bad choices and have to live with them the rest of your life.
But is this recording?
But I'm going to say too, this is a review of life is what this video is about. Having children when you're older is a good thing for many reasons. Mm-hmm. And one is I don't miss going out to clubs at all. Anytime we think about it, we're like, oh gosh, I'm so tired. I'm so glad I'm not interested in going out.
Absolutely.
It would be like 10:30 at night and I would still be determining if I was going to go out or not. Like now, sometimes I fall asleep by 8.
Yeah.
If I'm lucky, but
I look forward to coming home and watching Cozy TV. That's the channel we watch. We watch Cozy TV. Usually it's Roseanne, and then it's The Nanny, and if you can make it late night, it's Frasier at like 11. But yeah, that's what I look forward to. Like once a year, if we were to go out and just like tear it up, But that hasn't because COVID was ending the world the last 2 years or whatever.
I don't have the energy to go. But so the positive thing about having a child when you're older is you're kind of settled mentally and you're not wanting to go out to a party. You're not wanting to hang out with friends all the time or have friends over. You really appreciate your peace and quiet and just being left alone. Yeah. So if you can wait till you're older, wait till 35. You're older to have a child.
35. Everyone should wait till they're 35 to have a kid.
Yeah.
Either do it like right away, like I'm talking like, band, graduate, let's have some kids. So that way you're not even 40 by the time they're going to college. And then you could live your 40s up. You know what I mean? You had your kids, you did your stuff, and then you can do, you know what I mean? Yeah, if you do. That's if you do.
But that's the downside of having the kid when you're older because you're tired.
Yeah.
And our kid runs circles around us. Yeah. He's in a hooligan phase is what I'm calling it. And it's rough. Yeah. He's a super, super smart kid. And he takes so much attention. Yeah. Like, you cannot just put this kid in front of the TV and tell him to watch TV. Like,
not until he's almost asleep. And then he'll sit there and watch it. But at that point, his body's already, like, shutting down.
Like, he goes until he just, falls over and goes to sleep.
He just falls, and that's where he sleeps. It's. I'm glad he's energetic and not like I was, just, like, rolling around like a potato. But...
Potato.
Yeah, either way.
Is it right? Was that right? Potato?
A tater.
Potato?
Rolling around like a tater. Anyway.
Well, I wanted to give advice about having a child.
Go for it.
So that's my advice.
Oh, do you have more?
Have it when you're older, but know that you're going to be aching and you're not going to be able to, get up and down.
Maybe it's just us, though.
I was about to say that. It might just be us because my mom plays with our son for hours on end.
60.
And she's in her late 60s. And I'm just, sitting there on the couch, just exhausted. So it might just be us.
It might be us. We need to, maybe change our coffee or something. Get something better.
The reason why I'm even this awake is because of coffee.
Yeah.
Right now I'd be asleep.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're just old. I think you and I are just extraordinarily tired for some reason.
Well, I know why I'm tired. I wore myself out as a child. I had a blast as a kid. We played and played and played and played and played.
I didn't.
All the time. And then growing up on a farm, We had all sorts of room and stuff to do all sorts of crazy stuff. We won't get into that. But
I just played Nintendo. I have no reason.
You're a little more stationary.
Yeah, it's a little more stationary.
I don't know, and then I beat myself up through school. So I would also advise people, try to take school a little easier. Don't do what I did.
Yeah, and think, do you even need to go, like, for what you're going for? You know what I mean? Is there a way that you could just start in a company and work your way up and learn on the job? Or do you need to spend $100,000? You know what I'm saying? Do you need to spend $100,000 on your education? Obviously, if you're going to be a nurse or something in the technical field where you have to, you know what I mean? Like, you have to go to schooling prior to going to those fields. But if you're going to be something where you can learn on the job, or like you're going to do marketing or something like that, where you can just have a natural talent for it and be every bit as good as if you went to school for X number of years or even better. You know what I mean? So just determine whether or not you really need to go to 4 years, 2 years, 6 years, 8 years of school, or if you could just get moving on it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's kind of the Elon Musk mindset. See if you can just get your foot in the door and then move forward.
Yeah.
Just some advice to maybe save some money. I love school. Like, I really enjoy school for the most part, or did. I'm a little less so now, but so it was no problem for me. I enjoyed the heck out of it. But
I hated it. I hated school, and I forced myself to get super good grades. Like, it was my own. I beat myself up, mm-hmm. and I shouldn't have. But like, if I got an A-, like, I was devastated.
I was having a party.
I was just like, why couldn't you just give me a plus or give me extra credit so I could get it up to an A, or even just an A? The minus, like, was sad.
So C- was my line. You know, C, oh man, I'm not. But C+ or better, I was like, pretty smart. And the reason why is because C is average. So average is the medium, right? The median.
I guess.
And so above average or B, I'm above average. I thought I was doing great. And A was like those astronomical students like you. You know?
Yeah, now I'm in the shape I'm in.
I was a solid B student. And that was with minimal studying and stuff, you know.
I had a lot of studying. I didn't have it easy like him. Like, I had to study so hard to get what I had.
Minimal studying, I could get a solid B.
I would have probably got a C, maybe even a fail if I didn't
study. The only thing I ever failed is Spanish, but that's because I was working so much at that time. And third period is when my body would shut down. So I'd go into third period and I would just fall asleep on the table every time.
This is in high school?
In high school.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. And she wouldn't wake me up.
Well, it was one less student to deal with.
I was like, thank you. We had a mutual thing. She failed me, but, you know, we had a mutual respect there.
You failed it?
I failed. I went to summer school and, yeah.
Oh, how sad.
Yeah, I was all right with that. I think everyone should, well, not everyone, but I mean, it's not a horrible thing to experience an academic failure once in one's life. Because other than that, I usually did good in school. I did great.
My failure was getting a C in my economics class in college. And it was just like, to this day, like, it still, like, upsets me.
Really?
Yes. See, I tortured myself with school. I'm just like, why did it have to be so bad? I just feel like if you're not doing too good in school, the teacher isn't doing something right, because it should be simple enough to understand, and it will be if the teacher knows what they're doing.
Well,
I kid you not. Like, if a teacher doesn't know a subject well enough to explain it simply enough for a child to grasp, they don't know the subject well enough to teach it.
That might be true. Sounds right. Yeah.
That's what I feel about that. I guess we should probably end it there.
Sure.
I'm tired.
Yeah.
Okay. Have a good night, everybody.